Ilia, stop running, Ilia. Stop running, Ilia. Good boy. I'll make it quick, no worries. Good boy.
After Ilia Topuria's dominant win over Charles Oliveira in his lightweight debut, Arman Tsarukyan fires back with a viral post, calling him a duck and mocking his silence. Arman's message has fans talking, and the tension between them is rising fast. As Ilia remains quiet about his next opponent, Arman Tsarukyan continues to push the narrative. He recently posted footage from Alicante, Spain, which is known as Ilia Topuria's hometown. The location alone caught attention, but it was Arman's caption that made headlines. With just a few words, he reminded everyone that the pressure is still on Ilia to respond. Adding on, as more fighters react to Arman's post, analysts have started breaking down why Topuria's name keeps coming up at lightweight. According to Chael Sonnen, it's not just trash talk anymore. The talk surrounding Ilia and Arman has grown so much that even fighters outside the lightweight division are bringing it up, and Sonnen believes the situation has already moved past the point of no return.
For you, this was known as a sandhagen, and I'm seeing guys at 155 calling out Ilia Topuria. And they're not calling him and saying, I want to fight him. They're calling out that he said that he doesn't want to fight Arman Tsarukyan. Okay, first off, that fight is done. Just so you understand. But guys do have a recipe. They're creatures of habit. No more than when Ilia steps outside and dips, he's going to throw a hook. 100% of the time to your face, not to your body, not looking for your liver, not a shovel hook. He's stepping outside, boom, he's coming with a KO punch. I mean, I'm just sharing, like they're creatures of habit. So
as call-outs from lightweight contenders continue, Chael believes much of the criticism aimed at Ilia is misplaced. While some fans accuse him of ducking Arman, Chael sees it differently. He reminded viewers that Topuria didn't move up to chase easier fights. He left the featherweight division to challenge Islam Makhachev directly. That, according to Chael, tells a different story.
He's not being a dick behind the scenes. To call Ilia a coward, I mean, this is such strong language, and I do feel like people have forgot what happened in the last 3 months. Ilia Topuria did not move up to 155 to fight for a vacant title. That is your mind playing a trick on you. He did not move up to 155 to fight Charles Oliveira for a championship. That is your mind misremembering. Ilia Topuria dropped the belt and moved to 155, coming straight after Islam Makhachev. So to suggest...
Building on that point, Chael explained that Ilia has a clear method for picking fights. He's not avoiding anyone. He's following a formula that's worked for him. Chael believes the Tsarukyan fight is already lined up. Unless something unexpected happens, fans should prepare to see Ilia and Arman share the octagon very soon.
He would not fight a guy who lost to Islam Makhachev, just for example. But this is silly. This is silly, and he's not denying the fight. He has his approach. He has a way that he's found to build fights. He is a very big star. Much like he's not going to start slipping outside and not finding that knockout hook, he's not going to change the formula that he has, whether he's aware of it or not. But for fellow 155-pounders to be sitting back and to be judging and to be pointing a finger at Ilia Topuria, Ilia is playing you. Ilia is going to fight Tsarukyan. And outside of an illness or an injury, he's going to fight Tsarukyan next.
Moving on, as the back and forth between Ilia and Arman heats up, former champions and insiders are weighing in. Daniel Cormier shared a recent conversation between Michael Bisping and Paul Felder where they openly discussed the situation. Their take highlights just how real a threat Arman Tsarukyan is and why Ilia might be hesitant to face him next in the octagon. He said, "So the other day, Mike and Paul are discussing Ilia and the Arman Tsarukyan situation. Arman says he's scared, but that's what he's supposed to do. Arman's the guy who gets to fight him if they do fight. He's got that chicken running and all that. Say he's ducking, I get it. That's all part of the game. Mike and Paul aren't afraid to call out the tension and admit it's all part of the fight business. He further said, but when Mike and Paul are discussing it, and I love how forward they are with it, they're not hiding it. In other words, they're just saying what they feel, but this is what they said. Mike goes, is Ilia pulling a John Jones? Because Arman is a real threat to anybody. They see Arman as a serious challenge, which adds weight to their questions about Ilia's strategy. DC also said, he's tremendous. I know a lot of people discredit him because he pulled out of the last fight at the last minute, and rightfully so. However, and this is a big one, he's really good, and it's as simple as that. Despite some doubts, Arman's skills and physical tools make him a dangerous opponent. DC said, he's got great wrestling, cardio, strength. He's young, he's in his prime, he's an absolute monster. Ilia said if the UFC made him fight Arman, that would be a problem. Meanwhile, the chatter about Ilia Topuria avoiding Arman Tsarukyan has reached former UFC champion Michael Bisping. Bisping weighed in on the situation, highlighting how serious a challenge Arman presents. According to him, Ilia's hesitation isn't just talk, it could affect his career path and title status. Bisping believes that if the UFC wants fairness, Ilia must face Arman next.
Is Ilia Topuria pulling a John Jones? Ilia Topuria said if the UFC made him fight Arman Tsarukyan, he would vacate the belt. He doesn't want to fight him. He wants nothing to do with Arman Tsarukyan because Arman Tsarukyan is a real threat to anybody. Simple as that, because if we're doing it on a merit-based system, Arman Tsarukyan is ranked #1. Ilia Topuria needs to fight. He needs to accept the fight.
Furthermore, while Bisping believes Topuria is avoiding Arman out of genuine fear, not everyone agrees with that narrative. Veteran referee and analyst Big John McCarthy offered a different perspective. According to McCarthy, Ilia's behavior might just be part of a calculated game to stir reactions and throw Arman off balance.
I think he is just saying stuff to like throw barbs, get under the skin of Tsarukyan. And look at, no matter what, when someone sits there and says, I'm not fighting you, I'm not even going to give you a chance. You know, you can sit there and say that all you want, but you really don't have the ability to decide who you're going to fight. The promotion's going to decide who you're going to fight, or you're going to go away. Okay. So, you know, I look at it as, hey, right now he's playing mind games. He's having fun. Let me poke the bear. And it obviously is having some, you see Tsarukyan responding and stuff, but you know, Tsarukyan is taking it well. He's sitting there saying, go ahead. You know, I'm the champ anyways.
Building on that, McCarthy weighed in on Justin Gaethje's stance and the broader matchmaking puzzle. He pointed out that while Gaethje refuses to entertain non-title bouts, the UFC still has blockbuster options on the table, especially if Islam versus JDM plays out dramatically.
On off the top of my head.
This is Gaethje's whole point, though. Whether it be fighting Paddy Pimblett, fighting, you know, Arman Tsarukyan, he's like, no, I'm not into fighting anybody else. I want to fight for the title, and I don't blame him. But there are options out there, and you're right. When you're the UFC, you're sitting there saying you're trying to look into the future and say which is going to be our big fights. But you could put right now Islam Makhachev against JDM, and either way that comes out, whether if Islam beats JDM or JDM beats Islam, you still have a great fight sitting there for Ilia Topuria.
I don't know. I think
I'm not saying it's as big, but it's a great fight.
Moving on, as the debate over fighting styles heats up, Arman Tsarukyan shared his thoughts on Ilia Topuria's wrestling defense. He believes that while some fighters haven't posed a real threat on the ground, wrestlers like Islam Makhachev have the skills to take Ilia down and control him during the fight.
У него не было борцов хороших, но я знаю, что Ислам, такие борцы могут его перевести и держать легко на стиле.
Furthermore, Brendan Schaub weighed in on the ongoing debate about who Ilia Topuria should face next. He understands Ilia's cautious approach, seeing it as smart business rather than avoidance. According to Schaub, Arman Tsarukyan is the toughest challenge, but fighting someone like Patricio Pitbull might be a more lucrative and strategic choice for Ilia.
Dodge him. I think he's being a businessman. If I was his manager, I'd tell him the exact same thing. Arman's his toughest fight, and he's still a favorite in the fight, but it's his toughest fight. But if you're Ilia and you're his team, you're like, bro, Paddy, and I don't think that's an easy fight for him, but it's like, all right, Paddy or Arman? Arman's a fucking problem. And Patty, it is what it is. He has a little more clout than Arman. So even though Arman's ranked number 1, if I'm Ilia, hell yeah, give me Patty. I make way more money, you know? And if, let's say he fights Arman, say he were to lose.
Schaub also explained the risk and reward balance Ilia is navigating. He predicted that Ilia might delay facing Arman to maximize earnings and build his star power. Schaub acknowledged Arman's skill and toughness, but believes stylistically, Arman is Ilia's toughest matchup and has the best chance to beat him.
Then that Patty fight, you ain't making the same money. So I'm doing exactly what Ilia's doing. Unfortunately for Arman, I'm doing exactly what he's doing.
Good business. It's just good business.
If I'm him,
Yeah.
I'm even going even a step further. I'm going Patty, Justin Gaethje, then Arman.
The whole roster.
Fuck it. Delay it as much as I can so I get all the pay-per-view points, become the biggest star.
You think Arman can beat him?
Yeah, Arman's fucking tough, man. He's tough. He's a tough fight for him.
I think the one thing as a fight
I don't know if anybody can beat him, but
Yeah.
Arman has the best shot. His stylistically the best shot. Arman's a fucking monster.
Because it's wrestling, huh?
Yep, and cardio, he's a savage.
As a fight fan, it's cardio.
It's cardio, yeah.
Adding on, Arman Tsarukyan shared his thoughts on how he matches up against different fighters, comparing Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. He explained why he sees Topuria as an easier opponent on the ground, highlighting his confidence in controlling the fight. Arman believes Topuria has clearer weaknesses he can exploit.
I'll send Topuria back to top 15 pound for pound. For me, it's easier to fight Topuria than Oliveira.
Wait,
for my
I
style.
don't understand that though. I don't understand that, Arman. Like, how can you say that?
Because I like to take down people, you know. When you take down Charles Oliveira, he still can like choke you or do some mission.
He almost had you. You almost had.
Yeah, but Topuria is gonna try to get up, and then you can like just go like 1,000 times to take him down because there is no problems on the ground.
Well, that Bryce Mitchell fight that you were speaking about, he won that fight by submission.
Maybe he's a good guy, but not the best fighter.
On the other side, as rumors swirl about Ilia Topuria's future weight class, the fighter addressed the speculation directly. He revealed a private conversation with UFC officials where they asked him to focus on his current division before thinking about moving up. Ilia responded with a clear promise, showing his commitment to honoring their request, at least for now.
This guy could be the first 3-division champion in UFC history.
The last conversations I had with the UFC, they personally asked me the favor, like, don't tell us after the fight that you want to move to the welterweight division. Made us a promise. And I was like, promise.
Meanwhile, tensions between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan have reached a boiling point. In a surprising and bold move, Ilia openly questioned whether he's even willing to face Arman, signaling just how serious the disagreement has become. His latest words reveal a readiness to sacrifice his title rather than step into the cage with Tsarukyan. He said, "I'm never gonna give him a chance. If that's the case, then take my belt." Furthermore, as speculation builds, Arman Tsarukyan dropped a pointed message from Alicante, Spain, once Ilia Topuria's training base. With confidence and a bit of provocation, Arman pointed out that despite all the talk, Ilia is still avoiding the matchup. Meanwhile, as speculation heats up around Ilia Topuria's next move, those closest to Arman Tsarukyan are stepping into the spotlight to make their case. One of them is Marcos Parumpa da Mata, Arman's longtime coach at American Top Team, who strongly believes that Ilia's toughest test hasn't come yet. Speaking from deep within Tsarukyan's camp, Parumpa begins by offering measured respect, but quickly pivots to a bold assertion.
I'm not sure if that's the UFC wants before Ilia fights Islam. Because in my opinion, in my heart, I think Arman can make it very hard for Ilia. You know, I think he can beat Ilia. I think he will beat Ilia. You know, oh, you train Arman, of course, yeah. But I believe in Arman. I think he has the ability, the tools, you know, to beat a guy like Ilia. Oh, he's a very heavy-handed guy, unbelievable guy. Ilia is a great champion. All the abilities that Ilia has is amazing. He was hired by the UFC because of his grappling. And then all of a sudden he started knocking people out. Mm-hmm. You know, so no, we respect Ilia's grappling, but I think Arman's a different level. You know,
But it's what Parumpa says next that turns heads. Shifting from praise to direct comparison, he places Arman above every name on Topuria's resume, including Charles Oliveira, and suggests the UFC may be dodging that matchup for now.
I think Arman has the ability. He's better than Charles. He's better than all these guys that Ilia fought, you know? So let's say they put Arman now with Ilia. Then the big super fight, Ilia Islam, is off. And he beats Ilia and that super fight off. So I'm not sure, you know, maybe they're going to put Pimblet to fight Ilia or somebody else to fight Ilia to get a good win. Wait until Islam fights Jack. See what happens. Hopefully they both win. There's your big super fight of the year next year.
Moving on, as Ilia Topuria's star continues to rise, some analysts now believe he's more than just a dominant champion. He could be the UFC's next global megastar. Josh Thompson recently echoed Paul Felder's point, saying the UFC is backing Ilia as their future face. While he's not doing McGregor-level numbers yet,
big fight there.
You still do, based on the fact that Ilia is going to be trying to go for the third title.
Yep.
But I gotta go on. I gotta jump on the Paul Felder bandwagon. I love listening to him do the commentary. I love listening to everything he does. Him and Bisping both. But he brought up a good point, man. Like, you're the guy.
Yeah,
you're the guy that doesn't matter who we put you in against. You're the one that the UFC is banking on.
That's right.
So you're like, I don't want to call you Conor because you're not doing the numbers of Conor, but we're in a different world. But look, you may do way bigger numbers than Conor come Netflix. Like way bigger. So I guess my point is whatever he is saying, maybe he is just poking the bear, and maybe the guys are, reading into it too much, going on about this. But
on the other side, as the hype around Ilia Topuria continues to divide fans, Joe Rogan stepped in to offer a seasoned perspective. Speaking on his podcast, Rogan explained that Topuria's brilliance isn't just in his record, it's in the subtle, technical things he does in the cage. According to Rogan, you need real fight IQ to appreciate Ilia's unique movement and power.
It wasn't that he was winning, it was how he was winning.
Yeah.
He was flatlining people.
But you have to have actually watched the fight to get that.
You'd have to watch. You have to also be able to critically analyze his movements. They're just different. He's just doing something. He moves different than people, and the way when he hits guys, it's like, holy shit, man.
Yeah,
they can all knock each other out. They're all elite fighters.
Moving on, Brendan Schaub and Bear DeGidio weighed in on Arman Tsarukyan's fight prospects amid the ongoing matchmaking uncertainty. They discussed the challenges of waiting too long for a title shot and the difficult choices fighters face between staying active or holding out for a championship opportunity.
What do you tell him to do if you're his manager?
Me personally,
I'll tell you what I would do.
Yeah, me personally, and obviously if I had a personal relationship with Dana White, maybe my answer would be different. Or the UFC as a manager, I'm hypothetically speaking. If I've already waited this long, I would hope that I could withstand a little bit more waiting period and then go straight to a belt fight. But I think taking a smaller fight just to stay active at this point is a lose-lose no matter what, because you've waited so long already. And I just think that
I can see both sides. My thing is, if I don't know his relationship with Dana and them, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to ask Dana, like, hey, I know you guys doing the Patty thing. Am I for sure next, or am I gonna have to take a fight? Because I want to weigh my options.
That's what I'm saying.
So
if I had the phone, I would ask that.
Exactly. So if Dana goes, we're doing Patty.
Continuing their analysis, Schaub and DeGidio touched on Arman's recent communications with the UFC and his readiness to compete. They highlighted how weight issues and injuries can complicate things, especially when a title shot is on the line. Above all, they stressed the UFC's strict policy on making weight, especially for championship fights, underscoring the high stakes involved.
Okay, so if Dana goes, we're doing Patty. I have a good authority, it's probably gonna be Patty. So let's say they're doing Patty. If I'm Arman, I'm like, so can I wait? And if they say no, I'm like, what are my options? If they say it's a Gaethje,
hooker,
a hooker, those are good odds for.
Yeah. Well, I know Arman's been in communication with the UFC and he wants to fight. So that's
They also
good.
had him as the backup too, which is a good sign.
And he made weight.
He needed to make weight.
And he made weight.
That was the issue. Huge issue.
Is it that big of an issue? Like he was hurt.
The biggest issue.
They're that scared he was hurt.
It's the number one rule in the UFC over the history of the UFC. The number one cardinal rule is don't miss weight, especially for a title shot.
That's from the brass. That's from Dana White down.
Number one, don't miss weight. it's unprofessional. And then they're promoting it as a world title fight, but you miss weight, the title goes away.
The saga between Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria has evolved far beyond mere social media jabs. It's now a high-stakes battle of wills that could redefine the lightweight division's future. With Arman's relentless pressure and undeniable skills, the ball is firmly in Ilia's court. Will Topuria finally step up and prove himself against this looming threat, or will he keep dodging and risk losing credibility and his title? The UFC and fans alike are watching closely, anticipating the moment when these two warriors finally collide inside the octagon. What do you think will happen if Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria finally face off? Will Ilia overcome his fears and defend his title, or is Arman destined to claim the crown? Drop your predictions and reasons in the comments below.